I'm Shannon Thrasher, and this is 30 Second Tactics. Before we get started on this video, guys, I'd just like to remind you, please, if you enjoy these videos, please hit the subscribe button, like, share, do all that good YouTube stuff so we can get the word out and everybody can watch these videos. All right, hope you enjoy it. Here we go. So I made a video telling a few stories from my past, and you guys seem to like it, so I guess I'll do some more of that. Here's another story that comes to mind. We had a warehouse, a factory that was closed down, but it was still, it wasn't abandoned or demolished or anything. And they had some problems with people stealing the copper wire out of the building. So we were doing extra patrols over there. And I come by one night, in the middle of the night, and sure enough, side doors open. Now this is a big warehouse type factory building. I don't know, tens of thousands of square feet. It had been a nightmare to try to clear it by myself or even with a couple of guys. But I call for another unit, get a backup unit there, and we kind of, peek our heads in the door. Of course, it's pitch black. There's no power to the building, but we can hear stuff going on inside. Stuff that basically sounds like a couple guys inside stealing wire. So I look at my partner, and he looks at me, and we're like, "There's just no way we can go in here and clear this thing safely." So I said, "Go back to the car and grab your shotgun in case this gets serious." And I got an idea. So he goes and gets the shotgun, and we're standing outside the door, and I stick my head in the door and I yell in my big boy voice, my loudest drill sergeant cop voice I can come up with, something along the lines of, "Police, canine, we're going to send the dog in. When the dog finds you, the dog's going to bite you. So if you don't want to get bit with a dog, come out now with your hands up." And of course, we're like, that's not going to work. And man, it worked. Two dudes came out real slow with their hands up. One of them had a come-along tool in his hand that, they'd been using to pull the wire right out of the walls. And they came out, and we hooked them up. And, they went to jail for burglary and stealing the cable and everything else we could think of. And it took them about 10 seconds after the cuffs were on to realize that we didn't have a canine. And they were mad because they knew there's no way we would have found them in there. They could have, ran circles around us in the dark, and they came out and gave up on their own because of the canine. So that was a fun story. Hope you enjoyed it. So another good one, we're working security at a nightclub, and I had just recently switched over to a level 3 retention holster. This is back in the day when those were, they weren't rare, but everybody wasn't carrying, high-level retention holsters like now. Hopefully nowadays, I hope you are. And I switched from your basic level none holster, a snap. Yes, this was back in the day, but that going from no retention to level 3, the old SS3 Safariland, which is an awesome holster if you're familiar with it. It's kind of outdated now, but back in the day, that was the Rolls Royce of holsters when it came to security holster. But the thing was making me a nervous wreck. It took so long to get out of there. It kept, jamming up when I was trying to get it out. And I practiced, and I practiced, and I practiced, but I was so worried that it wasn't going to come out easy when I needed it. Everybody around me knew about it. I talked to all my buddies, my partners, and I was just whining about it. But I kept practicing. And so anyway, we're working this club, and there's kind of, it's very crowded, very busy club with lots of problems. That's why they needed armed security out there. And someone comes running up and says, there's this guy in the parking lot with a shotgun. So me and a couple other officers go running down there. And sure enough, we see this dude with a coat on, which under his coat looks like the outline of a shotgun. Now, what are you going to do? So we all pull our guns out, point at him, yell and scream at him, prone him out, and everything. So it turns out he was a bad guy. He wasn't that bad of a guy. He didn't have a shotgun. He had one of those old club devices used for locking your steering wheels. He had been using it to break out windows, using it basically like a baseball bat. But if you're familiar with those, when you already hear the word shotgun and this guy's got the outline of a club under his shirt, it definitely looked like a shotgun. But anyway, no shotgun, no big deal. We still hooked him up for the car burglaries. And afterwards, a buddy of mine says, "Hey, so how'd your holster work?" And that was the first time it dawned on me that I had no memory whatsoever of drawing that gun out. I'd practiced and practiced and practiced, and when the time came, it came right out. So if there's a moral to that story, I guess, practice with your gear, and then you'll have a cool story to tell years later. that's all there is to that story. I hope you enjoyed it.
All right, here's another story. Get a burglar alarm at a residence in a pretty nice neighborhood, upscale neighborhood, whatever you want to call it. And get there and the front door's open, unlocked, pushed in a few inches. Get another unit there, we start clearing the house. Well, we didn't go very far in the house when we heard the shower running in the bathroom. So we're like, oh, okay. The homeowner came home, maybe just came back from the gym or something, ran in real quick, hopped in the shower, didn't hear the alarm go off, or maybe it didn't go off audibly, who knows. So we'll just stand here for a minute and let him finish up. Him, her, we didn't know. We don't go busting in the bathroom and scare him to death. So we'll just stand there out in the hallway, a few feet from the bathroom, listen to the shower, waiting a few minutes for the homeowner to get done with the shower and step out. And we can be like, hey, your alarm went off, we're just making sure everything's okay, that kind of thing. Well, trained observer that I am, after I'd been standing there a few minutes, I noticed a pile of clothes laying on the floor in the hallway outside the bathroom. And I noticed that they were really old, ragged, dirty clothes. And if you haven't guessed yet, yeah, a homeless guy broke into this house for the sole purpose of taking a shower. So we let him finish his shower, and he came out wrapped in a towel that probably cost more than all his worldly possessions. And we gave him the bad news. You're under arrest. So at least he went to jail nice and clean and with shampooed hair. So that's that story. Well, guys, that's all I have for you this time. As always, work, train, repeat. Stay safe.